In this tutorial video, I am going to show you how to set up the second part of the RainMachine. In the first part, we set up the RainMachine under the Irrigation tab. In the second part, we are going to set up the second part of the driver under the Input-Output tab. Before you do this, make sure that the RainMachine is configured properly. The RainMachine does a lot of calculations to show you the water usage and the amount saved and the number of gallons used. In order to set that and make sure that we get the right results, your settings for each zone must be set up correctly. So under zones, on your RainMachine, under your web UI or in your app, make sure that you go to Advanced Settings and set up the proper type of sprinkler head. The measurements in the driver can only use certain number of the certain types of sprinkler heads, basically if they are drip or pop-up spray. And make sure that you either have an area or a total flow or both. One of these fields must be filled in order for us to calculate the values that we need to display in the driver. If both of these values are missing, the zone will be ignored and it will not be used in the calculation of the water usage. So make sure that these values are filled. Typically, these areas are calculated. The sprinkler head types usually will give you how much flow. So this is something that you want to talk to your professional about setting up the right values. Once you have these values set up properly, then we could start retrieving that information. So to install the driver, under Sense Input, add a new input controller. You will see the RainMachine input. You hit OK. Again, the driver is not supported by Elan, but it is supported by Enovo. On this screen, you'll notice it's very similar to the first screen. You have the activation key. There is a field here, which is the cost per unit. So this is something that you want to get from your water bill. For example, in our area, I know that water costs $0.0027 per gallon. The currency is $1. The units is if you're using gallons, obviously you set this to gallons. If you're using liters, then we will display everything in liters and we will automatically convert it. The network mode, cloud mode, or local mode, and we discussed this in the first video, so if you want to know all the details about this, watch the first video. Typically you want to be in cloud mode and change local mode to yes. The only time you want to be in cloud mode and set local mode to no is if the controller is not on the same LAN segment or even the same WAN segment. Let's say that it's actually sitting in a different location altogether, then you obviously don't want it rolling to local mode. Otherwise, this is the setting. The username is the same username as the what you saw in the first video, which is also the username that you used for your app. Password is your password. You hit apply, and this will give us the this will set all the values in the Elan driver. Then once we're done, you click on authorize, and when you authorize, it'll go in and it will go and get the list of programs, and it will start loading values from the RainMachine. Now you'll see the loading. Please wait, flash a couple of times, wait for this to disappear completely before you move on. The RainMachine puts out an enormous amount of data, and so there will be delays loading this data into the Elan controller. Please be patient, otherwise this process will keep repeating. Right now I'm doing this tutorial at the end of the month, so that means we've collected 30 days worth of data points. This is times 8 sprinkler heads, times 8 zones, times multiple waterings, so this literally is thousands and thousands of data points that we're trying to crunch and present the data. So now it's done, the feedback is ready, and we are ready to move on to the next step,